Welcome back to the Commission Anderson Show, and our next matchup: the 1-2 Hipples versus the 1-2 Desk Jockeys. Both teams, one win. They're trying to do what they can to survive. I got a question to ask you though. There's a lot of controversy about this new guy in Hipples and blah blah blah, and I want it to be on camera here. Are you Hipples nipples? I want you to look into the camera and answer that question.
No, I am not Hipple's Nipples.
Who is Hipple's Nipples?
His name is Christopher Pittenturf.
I think that's a made-up name.
It sounds a little fishy and awkward and long and fake,
yeah.
But it's not. He's a real person.
All right.
And quite frankly, I'm a little offended that you would even say that.
I'm just asking the question that the people want to know.
I understand that. The people need to relax.
All right.
Time out. All of you people, including you, Douglas, owe Mr. Pittensnuff a huge apology for the way you've degraded him, made fun of him, and hurt his small feelings. I see it, his roster is pretty solid, and in the mathematical rankings, he ranks number 3.
Okay, here's what I will say. I'm not going to apologize for anything because I don't think I've done anything wrong. I will say this: he's been a surprise to the league, to myself.
That's an apology.
It's not. But anyway, he's been a surprise to the league and to even himself. Because he even admitted at the beginning of the year he wasn't very good. So that's why I'm not apologizing. And that said, let's get right to the matchups. We're losing time here. My director's pointing at me telling we need to get going.
Gotcha.
Anyway, let's go to the quarterbacks. Eli Manning at Kansas City, Drew Brees at New York Jets. I'll be honest with you here. I don't really like Drew Brees this week.
Crap.
That said, am I still going to, if he was on my team, would I play him? Absolutely. You can't sit him. But you saw what they did to Brady.
Brees manhandled him.
Brees is arguably better than Brady this year. Oh, I think he's better than Brady this year. I'll put it that way.
So far.
I think they might be able to do the same. I don't think Brees gets more than 15 points. What do you think?
I don't know about how many points he's going to get exactly, but I would take Manning against Kansas City here.
Okay.
And I do love Manning.
Yeah, I know you have some man love for Manning, and Kansas City giving up almost 250 yards a game and 5 touchdowns so far. I'm okay with this. But anyway, let's go to the running backs. Marshawn Lynch is back, and ESPN only has him projected for 4 points.
New guy looks to be in a good spot now with Lynch coming back, plus some of his waiver wire pickups of Walker and Garcon.
Yeah.
He's starting to look pretty solid.
All right, well, Marshawn Lynch, how many points do you think he gets this week in his debut?
12.
10? Wow, you think he gets double digits?
Sure.
I don't think he gets double digits. But I wouldn't put 9 or 8 past it. I think I'd be okay with that.
9's almost 10.
Well, it's not. But, no, it's not. Ryan Grant against Minnesota. Monday night game. I don't really know if I like it either. Minnesota only giving up 92 yards a game. And just so you don't think I'm crazy, the reason why I don't really like Lynch is Miami actually stops the run pretty well, only giving up about less than 70 yards a game for running backs. So
good for Miami.
When you look at Jockeys running backs, if they both stay healthy, I don't see how either one of them can't score at least 20 to 25 points.
They could have big games, but I think the opposing defenses are going to surround that, especially Cleveland with Big Sean Rodgers up there. But Detroit probably won't be able to stop much of anything.
Are you pleasantly surprised with Cedric Benson this year?
Oh man, he's been fantastic.
It's about time.
This is like when he was at Texas playing against Texas Christian Academy.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's a lot of owners that were, just were rid of him from 2 years ago when he everybody picked him in the first round. Was it Jake? Am I right on this?
Probably.
I don't know. You think about a bad drafting error, and you have to say a Boykin. That's the first
name. He probably took him in the first round.
He probably did. Anyway, I'm going to pick Jockeys running backs here as opposed to Hipples.
I'm with you.
Anyway, let's go with Jockeys wide receivers. Depression City, really.
It's pretty poor.
His best wide receiver is Mario Manningham, and I know you're not a big Mario Manningham guy, but I think he's actually getting some targets and actually looking legitimate. But as far as Antonio Bryant, Kelly Washington, can you rely on these guys?
No, Antonio Bryant last year was awesome, but apparently this year that injury, he just can't get over it.
Yeah.
I don't like Kelly Washington as an individual or a player. Manningham is big play, but he's he got a solid running game he's up against. Plus he's got Steve Smith and Boss. He's just got a lot of other weapons, and Manning loves to throw here, there. Manningham's just one of many pieces.
All right. Do you play Dwayne Bowe in those spots if he's healthy?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
I know you like Dwayne Bowe. What about Justin Gage? Do you play Justin Gage in those spots?
No. Kelly, or what's his nuts? D-bag. What's that guy from Tennessee, the number one?
Nate
Washington.
Okay. So what we need
Kelly, dang.
What we need to do is we need to go back. I say, do you play Justin Gage in that spot? Okay, ready? Do you play Justin Gage in that spot?
No. Nate Washington's the number one out there. So you already have a couple number two guys on that roster. Why substitute another number two for a different number two?
Okay. Let's go to the other side. Hipples and Santonio Holmes, Pierre Garçon. I like how you did that. Mike Sims Walker quickly becoming the number one guy over Torrey Holt in Jacksonville. But let me ask you this, kind of an interesting question. Nate Burleson actually had some pretty good chemistry with Seneca Wallace.
You're talking about Burleson.
My fault. Burleson. He actually has some pretty good chemistry with Seneca Wallace. I think actually Nate Burleson gets, I'm going to say 14 points this week.
Oh, wow.
Do you play him? And if you do play Nate Burleson's, do you play him in Holmes' spot, Garçon, or Sims Walker? If you play him.
If you play him, probably, Ryan Grant's spot.
All right. Well, then would you sit Ryan Grant or would you sit Marshawn Lynch?
I would sit Ryan Grant against the Purple People Eaters up front.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, but you wouldn't do that though. That's not a move you would make.
It's not a move I would make, but I like where you're thinking there. But I would probably go 4 wide if I was to play Burleson.
Okay. All right. Well, as far as tight ends, Antonio Gates against Pittsburgh, Jeremy Shockey against the Jets. Both very good defenses. Antonio Gates, no touchdowns so far this year. Do you think he gets one this week?
No, I don't. I don't like his matchup at all against the vicious 3-4 defense of Pittsburgh. I don't like it.
Okay. And Jeremy Shockey, do you give the edge to him then? Or
I'm going to go draw. It's tough for me in tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
I know you enjoy tight ends, but it's tough for me because, they're kind of the same thing.
Okay. Defense, Ravens at New England, Vikings at Green Bay. Do you think the
I don't
Monday
think
night
either
game...
are going to be good.
Okay.
Both have their issues. The Vikings look to be a shootout, and then you can't go against Tom Brady and love that matchup.
Okay. What do you think this game comes down to?
I think that it comes down to running back play for the Jockeys and wide receiver play for the Nips.
Okay.
I'm going to take the big play this weekend for the Nips. And I'm going to take them 110-98.
Okay, 110-98 for the Nips.
Nips.
I'm going to go Jockeys, and I'm going to pick him up mainly because of his running backs. I think that they'll actually do well. I don't know about his wide receiver, so I am going out on a limb. You have to do that once a week to just try to keep, but I'm going to go a little bit different than you, and I'm going to pick up the Jockeys. Anyway, that's all for this matchup, and we'll be right back with our next one.